up, YouTube? It is your boy Gartrell back with another episode of North Garage. Today is going to be special. It's the big day, Tune Day. So, to start off with, there's a couple things I have to say. I'm going to say them in the car. Okay, first things first. This video is going to be split into two parts. That's the number one thing. So, first off, the first video is going to be installing a flex fuel kit on the M4. Now, there's a difference between flex fuel reading and flex fuel kit designed for actual true flex fuel, and I'll explain the difference when it comes time to actually install it. So, I'm out of breath because I just started loading up the car. So I have purchased a kit from Bend Calibration. Everything is in the description below if you want to get the same kit for your car. And I'm going to Felix Medina Racing up in New Jersey in South Amboy. Now, before I even start, the main thing to do with your tune-up beforehand is to stay in contact with them before your tune date. So I've been notified that I need to have low gas when I get there. I have 67 miles in the tank. It's about 29 mile drive. I'm being sport, so should be able to run out of gas by then. I need to have E85 filled up. Yep, we're doing E85, guys. So I'm gonna get another jerry can. I have one, and I'm gonna fill up E85 before we get there. Buying the kit, I thought I was gonna be able to get it installed beforehand. Unfortunately, the person I wanted to do it kind of like last minute closed on me. So I was just like, okay, that's terrible. So I asked the tuner if he could install it for me, because he does install it there. And because I wasn't in communication with him, he has his lifts full with like GTRs with their motor out. So obviously those cars can't really go anywhere. So what we're gonna be doing is actually installing this on the floor of the shop at Felix Medina Racing. So again, not his fault, my fault on communication. It is what it is, but it should still be a good day. We'll get it installed. Even if it takes all day for me to get everything done and squared away, it is what it is. It took the whole day off for this. So, without further ado, I'm going to skip to getting E85, and then I'm going to skip to the shop where I'll break down the actual kit, how to install it, because I think there's nothing documented on YouTube about this at all. And yeah, it should be a great day. All right, guys. So we're at the pump for our very first fill up on E85. Not a full fill up, but filling up the jerry can. Same difference. I'm a little excited. They didn't have a second jerry can at this one, so I'm gonna have to pick one up at some point today. Basically, I'm gonna find him, talk with him and everything, get everything situated, see what's gonna be happening today in terms of, like, you know, getting the part on and everything. And I'll update you as soon as I start putting it in. I just gotta figure out like what's happening, like, you know, kind of get situated with where I'm at and everything. Right now, the car is, so we're on very, very low gas at the moment. 27 miles left in the tank, the light's on, so that should be good. I still didn't find a second jerry can, so I'm probably gonna go and look for that while, you know, maybe he's not ready for me yet or whatever the case may be. But go find a gas station, maybe if there's E85 nearby, fill up that second jerry can, you know, run my tank out pretty much, and make sure that I have what I need for the tune. But yeah, regardless, I'm excited, even if it doesn't look like it on my face. But yeah, let me just go over there, try to figure out what's going on, and I'll update you guys as soon as I can. Workers actually just got here. They're rolling out some really crazy cars. I just wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse of the types of things he works on. So we got Supra, Turbo Porsche, there's an NSX over there, Type R, whatever this is, another Turbo Porsche in there, GTRs, Evos, Supra. You can see it. I'm not trying to get all up in their business, but it's a cool shop, you know. Dyno. I just want to walk you around this Supra. This is like the perfect color. It does no justice, this camera. Awesome looking sparkly seats. And the wheels are just, oh, they're amazing. Fire, fire, fire. want you to look at my headlights too, if you can see it. That's like the darker tint, right? This is actually the color I wanted it to be. So I might have to get it redone. But this looks like a lot lighter. Maybe you can see here. Yeah. This is the Bend Calibration kit. It comes exactly as pictured. You don't have to assemble anything. Basically, what we had to do was drop this panel, disconnect this fuel line. It's simple. You push in the white pin and then pull it out. We're gonna drop the bracket that's up there. We're gonna drop this bracket right here, and then we're gonna connect simply the female end to the male end, and the male end to the female end for the fuse line, for the hoses. All right, so if you can see it, it's kind of dark. That's what it looks like finally installed. So you have the male fitting from the factory fuse line going into the female fitting, and then the male fitting from the kit going into the female hose. We mounted the holding bracket onto the actual plate and tied it down, so now it could just bolt right back up into the car onto the 3 studs from factory. This comes in your kit. This wire will plug directly into your flex fuel sensor, and then you're going to run it to the tuner's desired location in the car, where it will plug into your Zeitronix reader at this point. Alright, so right now, after we've obviously ran the wire that I spoke to you about last time up, we've taken off the brace with the 13 mils as I've always shown you. So you take off the brace with all the 13 mils, then you take out the 10 mil, the bolt holding this in, and then you pull it out of the rubber grommet, and then Felix is going to show us exactly where we're going to tap our wires for power, ground, can high, and can low. Those are the 4 connections you have to tap, and once that's done, you'll effectively be done with your install. Just wrap any loose wires and tighten that out of the way, but I'll show you exactly which wires when he tells me which one is which. Okay, so to show you which connector we're going to be using to splice is this one. Now, if you can see, let's see if I can get in there. Now, if you can see, it's the 1, 2, 3rd one in. Tapping can high and can low. So if you look here closely, the red and blue is can high, and we attach it to the red and white as per the directions. And the red solid, which is pin 8, I believe, pin 7 and 8 are these, connects to can low, which is the black and white, which is eventually going to plug into your Zeitronix reader. So now all we have to do is find power and ground, and then we'll be ready to literally just plug everything in, cable management, and plug everything, and just literally set the car back up to get on the dyno. Alright guys, so we've pinned everything. My guy is literally finishing up wrapping everything. We're doing cable management now. So let's just make it very clear and simple. So I'm gonna list the actual connector that needs to be used. You have to use A211*1B. So A211*1B is the actual connector from the DME that you're going to use. The pins you need are 7 and 8 for can high and can low. Can high is the blue and red wire, and the solid red wire next to it, pin 8 or 7, I'm not sure which one, so just go by color, is going to be your can low. So you're going to tap those two. Remember, pin 7 and 8, and then you're gonna tap pin 42, which is a thick red solo wire that is your 12 volt ground. 12 volt power, sorry. For ground, we're actually going to be mounting it to the chassis. So we actually took a little what is this called again? What is this head?
What do they call it?
Either way, you see what kind of head it is. It's I'm basically just gonna run this to one of your bolts on the ground. We're gonna put it right on the actual strut mount. Right, the I-ground terminal. So it needs a hard ground, basically anywhere that's like metal on the car, which what we're gonna do is right by the suspension. So just remember that. I tried to show you to the best of my ability before. You can use wire taps. You don't have to pull the pins out because that's a little dangerous. If you get the pins stuck in there, it's gonna be a big issue. But that's pretty much it. So right now we're literally putting the kit back together, and I'll just show you when it's all finished. So I'm actually going to show you guys what I didn't show you when I was there. In the whole grand scheme of things, I was just getting so caught up with what I was doing and trying to get the car in the dyno and everything that I literally just forgot to film that part. So I'm just going to show you exactly how everything sat at the end. Okay, so here you can see our Zeitronix reader setup. So we ran the wire through the obvious heat sheath connecting from the DME to the other parts of the car. So we made sure that everything got tucked away really nicely. So everything is, obviously you can see they're taped up pretty well. You have our wire leading from the flex fuel sensor itself that plugs into the ECA, clearly labeled here at the sensor side. Plugged in. We had to just zip tie it up because it's very long actually, and it's kind of in the way, so we just tucked it underneath the strut brace. It's been fine for as long as I've been driving with the car, which has been a couple weeks now. It has rained heavily a few times and I haven't had any problems with it being tucked under this panel here. We have the ground, as you can see, is this small wire running up onto the strut tower brace right at this bracket where the coolant reservoir is, and everything works perfectly fine. You might even be able to see the thing flashing in there. I'll try to get it there. So it's on and working, and yeah, it's a pretty neat setup after you tuck everything away and you put this up. I haven't had any water leak issues or anything like that, so it's pretty good. Now Now Bend Calibration will actually recommend that you have the kit running inside the fender well and tapping into CAN bus high and low through there, which is a more waterproof setup. Obviously you're not going to get water inside the car as much as you would in that area, but I have had no problems, and this is actually the Ecutek explained way on their website. So everything is pretty much good there. Now what I wanted to also talk about quickly before I get back into the actual day of this video was recorded on is what this kit actually allows you to do. So now some people might think installing a flex fuel sensor in their car is considered a flex fuel kit. It is not. Basically, whenever you put a flex fuel sensor in your car, all it's doing is reading the ethanol content and displaying it for you on a gauge so you can see your exact ethanol content in the car. Unfortunately, this is not true flex fuel. What your tune is doing is set up for E85, and that's what you have the sensor for, but it doesn't allow you to switch on the fly. Meaning, if I was to go to a gas station right now, I could put any blend of ethanol, E85, and regular 93 or pump gas into this car, and the tune will adjust on the fly. I'll go deeper into this when I cover how Ecutek stacks up against other brands like Bootmod and MHD and stuff like that. And realistically, why that is not true flex fuel. True flex fuel means you go to the pump, you put any amount of E85 in your car and any amount of pump gas to balance out, or even full E85, and your tune will adjust. So that's exactly what Ecutek allows me to do, and what this kit from Bend Calibration actually allows you to do. That is why it is superior to running something like Bootmod, where you might just have a sensor telling you your ethanol content, or not even knowing, and just kind of playing with, you know, running full E85 by switching to a map, or running 93 by switching to a different map. I can be in any of the maps that Ecutek has set for me and put any amount of E85 or 93, and the tune on either map will adjust on the fly. So that is the benefit of having the Bend Calibration kit as opposed to just a flex fuel sensor. Now back to the video. Alright, so we finished putting in the ECA-2. If you have any questions on how to install it, feel free to reach out to me. I will be glad to kind of like walk you through it or give you the steps that you need to be able to put it into your M3 or M4 or M2. So we're actually loading the car up on the dyno. I did mess up and I did not have enough E85 and I have too much pump gas in the tank, so I thought 20 miles left in the tank would be enough to kind of run it out, but I guess it wasn't enough and it's getting pretty late. So we're just gonna tune the car on pump gas and I'll be able to data log and send him my files via Ecutek, and he can send me back a file and update it. But let's just look at the car dyno, so enjoy part 2.